What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Jack, also known as Chig on the internet, coming at you with my first book review on this channel. Found out a little while ago that I was really into learning about the stock market. I'm not real good at it yet, but I thought I would share some of the resources that I'm using along the way to learn about things, kind of give my 2 cents on it, and hopefully pass some of these great tools on to you guys. What we're going over today is the Options Playbook presented by Trade King, and it's written by Brian Overby. He is known as the options guy. He does this very well. Excuse me. So, I'm not going to pretend I know a whole lot about the subject. I'm just going to give you a rundown of what this book is about and how well it's written. Okay? I even got my notes here. Not hiding anything from you. I'm going to be real transparent. I'm even going to give this right up on a website later. I know I'm talking fast. We'll slow it down. So, an option. What is an option? Simplest explanation I could think of is an option is having control over 100 shares of a stock or asset. Doesn't seem too intimidating at face value, but they expire over time, and that's kind of where things get tricky. This book gives you a lot of information of how, when, why, and where to look into buying your options and kind of how to get started. And so we'll start out by talking about the author. He does a really great job of being upfront of what options are, how they can be used. The first bit of the book's not really for people who are seasoned options traders. People who have a lot of experience trading options already aren't going to get a lot of value out of the first couple of chapters of the book. But if you don't have a lot of experience trading options, you are going to learn a whole lot of information really fast. You should probably take the time to read every page and make sure you know where things are going, because this is a really tricky way to trade and make use of the stock market. Throughout the book, he uses some interesting methods to keep the reader engaged. He draws on some pictures, just like a football coach would in his playbook. He has a lot of interactive things going on, like he will give you a tip or tell you to pat yourself on the back, all kinds of things like that. He does a really good job keeping you engaged, as well as giving you important information to digest as you're going through and reading the book. The first couple of plays in the book are just kind of simple things to teach you how to use options, what they're for, how they work, and how they'll be utilized later in the book. Again, I'd like to reiterate, this part of the book is still for pretty much just for beginners. People who are seasoned traders aren't really going to get a lot of usefulness out of those first couple of chapters, because it's still just, this is how you trade options, this is how these are useful, this is the first couple of ways you can get into it, and there's still not as much value there for the seasoned guys. It does, however, go into how things fluctuate, why they fluctuate, the time frames, how to utilize the time frames, and stuff like that. It comes down to it, and it's a really, really, really good explanation of how options work and when to use them. Excuse me. He goes over the different ways you can use options. If he's got it color coded in here, well, not color coded, he's got it coded by little pictures. One's of a bull, one's of a bear, one's of an N, and one's a question mark. And what they're for is it'll show you if that play that you're looking at is good for if the market's bullish or going up, if it's bearish or going down, neutral or going sideways, and the question marks if you're not sure. You think it's going to move, but you don't know which direction it's going to go. He's even got some plays for that. After that little section of explaining these are our symbols and what they do, there's not a whole lot more new information for people who aren't beginners. After that, it's just, here's this play, how to run it, when to run it, what you should look for. He does have little tips in there. If you should run it if you're a beginner, if you're intermediate, if you're more well versed in trading options. he does a really good job of breaking it down into, this is what you should do if you're beginner, this is what you should do if you're intermediate, this is what you might consider if you're a little more well versed in trading options. After that, there's really not much more to the book. He gives some credit at the end. I would say we could go over pros and cons at this point. The pros of this book: it has a lot of great information for beginners. When I first started reading this book, I didn't know anything about options. I got to the plays and I was like, oh, cool, I can try these out. You know, I made a couple dollars doing what he said in the beginning. I'm still not, I want to say, confident enough with my skills to interpret what the market's going to do to use some of the more complicated ones. But I've had some success with the simpler ones, trying to learn how to utilize what's going on in the book. The majority of the starting chapters give a lot of information to people who don't know how to trade options, and it gives the information in a way that you can get started trading options really soon. Like, you can sit down with breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning, and by the time that the market's open at 9:30, you would be bam, bam, bam. All right, cool. I have my information. I'm gonna make this trade. It's also a great reference tool for beginners for strategies when you're just getting learning, right? When you don't know exactly what's going on, or when you want to make an options trade but you're not sure how to go about it. He's got a lot of tips in there that's, well, if you feel like this might be going on or that might be going on, maybe you should consider this. The only con I have to the book at all is that it is more geared towards the beginners in the first part, and there's no intermediate section. It goes from, if you're a beginner, you should do this, and then here's 40 things you can do to make money with options, which kind of leads it to be not the best resource for seasoned traders. However, it is a very good reference tool for people who know what they're doing and maybe just need a refresher on, oh, hey, here's an iron condor, or if we're just buying one way or the other. I don't think it would provide much more value for anybody who's a seasoned trader than just as a reference thing, but I do think that everybody should own this book. I would give this a solid 8 out of 10. People who are seasoned in trading options and know what they're doing, it's a great reference tool. Just look at the table of contents, flip right to the page you're looking for. Easy as that. And if you're a beginner, it gets you started in trading options, lets you know what you need to start doing, and start maybe making your way towards being one of those guys. I think everybody should have this book. I'm going to have some links down in the description. One is for the hardback, that's kind of like a textbook, or the digital version. I prefer digital. I get digital everything. And then they also have a very, very nice spiral bound edition that looks like a playbook. It's kind of cool to pick up. I've seen that one. One of my buddies has it. I've played with it. You know, it feels like it sounds like it would. Anyways, I'm gonna start putting out some more of these reviews. So anytime I pick up a new book, I'm gonna review it, throw it up here. Feel free to like and subscribe. It would help me out a lot. Get me some more people coming through, checking things out. I'm kind of new at this, you know. If you've got any comments, questions, or concerns, go ahead and throw them down in the comments. How you think I can improve? Anything you might like to see, you know, I'm down to pick up new books and try them out. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this and found it at least a little bit useful. Pick up the Options Playbook and give it a read. It'll help you out a lot. I'll catch you guys in the next one.